Welcome to Bespoke. We're so excited to have this vibrant full house tonight. And we are just so excited. This is our inaugural reading of Bespoke, which we hope will become an every other month celebration of the vibrant and diverse voices in our queer literary community throughout the city. And perhaps we'll even have guests from out of town from time to time. We got together and we felt so strongly about wanting to just have yet another platform for voices that we already know and love, and voices that we don't yet, you know. So to make this a platform and a venue for new voices as well. So let me turn things over to Christina and Jerome, who co-curated this with me.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's so great to have you all here. I think Tim gave an excellent introduction, but I just wanted to add that something I was really excited about with this series is the chance to bring playwrights into the mix. So often we do not include our theatrical brethren in sort of the literary world, and these guys were like, yes, let's bring playwrights in. So tonight we'll be graced by Diana O, who is a fabulous composer, playwright, lyricist, and on to Jerome.
Hi, thank you guys for being here at this altar of sinfully sartorial literary worship. I am Jerome Ellison Murphy. I work at NYU Creative Writing Program, managing the undergrad program there. I've also worked with Lambda Literary and have read at the Bureau many times. Love this place. Thank you for being here. We really are happy you're here with us, and we just wanted to put a fun twist on the reading series. That's why it's Bespoke. You know, we have the readers stress fun, fancy, flirtatious, however they like. We are also doing the wild card drawing at the end. We have a wild card
or
reader.
Frumpy.
Yeah. You're fun, Tim. You're fun.
Right.
So we are going to pull that out of the super gay hat in the back. We will have a wild card reader, and we will also pull out more names, and they will get delicious treats if you put your name in the hat, even if you don't get to be the wild card reader. So without further ado, I think I will introduce Tim to introduce our very special guest, Eileen Myles.
They are hiding in the back. I told you I was withholding their name until the end of the bio. I was trying to build suspense. Anyway, all right, so much for that idea. Okay. Where did it go? Hang on. Eileen Myles is a poet, novelist, performer, and art journalist who needs no introduction, but which we're nonetheless giving them one. Their 20 books include Afterglow, a dog memoir, which I've begun reading. It's an absolute delight. It's so beautiful and moving. A 2017 reissue of Cool for You and I Must Be Living Twice / New and Selected Poems, and Chelsea Girls. Eileen is the recipient of Guggenheim Fellowship and Andy Warhol Creative Capital Arts Writers Grant, 4 Lambda Book Awards, and the Shelley Prize from the PSA. In 2016, Myles received a Creative Capital Grant and the Clark Prize for Excellence in Art Writing. Currently, they teach at NYU and Naropa University and live in Marfa. Is that right?
Yes.
Where is that?
In Texas.
Oh, okay. And live in Marfa, Texas, amazing town, I was there, and New York. Please welcome our special guest reader at the inaugural Bespoke, Eileen Myles.
Jerome, how did you use fairly? It was like fairly? It was like fairly. We're fairly excited to.
Oh yeah, did I say so? No. Really? It was supposed to be really.
No, I was impressed. I was like, that's kind of, it was kind of whatever.
Yeah, we accept that you're there.
We go back, so you can say fairly if you want. I know you so well, I can give you a hard time about that fairly. So this is great, thank you. I'm so happy. I've watched this bookstore institution move around and look for homes and be in this place now, and I'm so happy you're here. And I'm so happy they are not charging you rent. Is that public information?
It is now.
How could they ever charge you guys friends. I would never.
It was a nominal.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
they were like, nah, just do what
Yeah,
you're doing.
right.
So
Anyway,
we appreciate it. The centers, we wouldn't survive without them.
Yeah.
yeah, and they wouldn't survive without you. and
I'll let you say.
So I'm gonna, I guess I have a new book coming in the fall, which is a collection of poems called Evolution. I was like, what was that title? My last book of poems was a selected, which is like a retrospective for a poet. So I really haven't had a new book of poems for like 7 years. So it's very exciting because you just feel like it's kind of like not getting off or something. You just keep writing new poems and they keep not coming out in a book. And so I feel like I'm happening now. And you're happening with me. So the first poem is called "A Gift for You," and so I have this impulse. So St. Mark's Poetry Project, which is one of my absolute favorite institutions, and it's kind of where I went to graduate school, which is I didn't go to graduate school. I went there and hung out for 10 years. But they have the annual New Year's Day benefit, which is great, and that's the day that you always read your new poem. And I didn't have a new poem, so I wrote this one for them. And I'm looking at the bookshelf in my house, and I still haven't read the Cindy Carr's bio of David Wojnarowicz, but it's been sitting, like I do turnouts in my bookshelf. You know, it's like they kind of like read that, and then not yet. A gift for you. Around 5:30 is a peaceful time. You can just hear the dog lapping. David lifts his. See, it's like really not right. David lifts his smoke to his lips forever, dangling chain in the middle of everything about the top shelf or so. The party at which I said, "That's my collected works," and everyone stared. My home was so small. Is it? I'm not particularly into the task of humility at the moment, but I'm not against it. It's like that deflated beach ball in a tiny chair I think of as joking with a larger one on a painting floating in air. My home is large. Love made it large once, not to get all John Wieners. And believe me, love made it small. If you don't know John Wieners, he's like the great queer Boston poet, a genius, and he has a book that came out from Wave Press called Supplication, and it just will blow you away. He's one of the greatest poets. Not to get all John Wieners, and believe me, love made it small once. This place only has sex, unlike the house. I love a house. I fear a house. A house never gets laid. Frankly, who doesn't like a hotel room? I live in a hotel room, a personal one. A young person very much like me was brutal. No personal photographs, please. It was anyone's home, perfect for a party. Now I'm going fast. How the description of a drug enters a room and changes the room. Thus, with going fast, say thus if you want to go slow. To drink the wrong thing for a moment, for you to lick my thigh and your honey face. I have a dog named Honey. And your honey face. I met a dog named Izzy once. I met a dog named Alan, the calm person, writing her calm poems. Now and then she shows her sacred heart. She opens her chest, and a monkey god is taking a shit, swinging on his thing. You didn't know I had so much inside me. Buckets of malice, Bibles of peace. I don't want to go all library on you. Now, like my mother, the mother of God, or my brother named Jack, who sat in a deck of cards getting hard. When he squeezes in getting cozy, I know less what I want to say. I can open an entire room comes out each moment. That's what I mean. Not things widen and flow. There's no purpose to this. Thank you for that. Poets get kind of yums and And this one's called The Baby. The baby says to the old man, "Let's have a cup of coffee." The old man says, "Now you're talking." I feel that is my best poem. It was so hard to get it published. I sent it to the New Yorker, and they were like, "No." So this next poem is called St. Joseph, Father of Wales. And it's like I was in, so I live in Marfa, but part of the reason I live in Marfa is that like 3 years ago, like the poshest residency a writer can possibly get is the Lannan one, because they have these 4 gorgeous houses in Marfa, Texas, and they just have furniture. You just want to take like a U-Haul and steal everything in the house. They give you a Prius to drive while you're there. They fly you there, and they pay you $100 a day to be there. So you just feel like you've died and gone to heaven when you get this. But I was going through hell at the time because first of all, I had lost something that was really important, but also I was about to have my Selected come out with HarperCollins, which was a huge deal, and I was like transitioning to like mainstream poet. But I was having a huge fight with the editor, like so bad that it looked like it wasn't going to happen. So I got all woo woo, and I talked to psychic tarot readers and astrologers, and one of them they said two things. They said they should listen to whale music and meditate, and there was one other thing. I can't remember what the other thing was, but I was like, I'll do it. So this is, and then pray for the editor, and so he's like an infant in here too, and it all worked out. So it was and javelinas, if you don't know, are kind of a piggy kind of animal in Marfa. They're kind of like boars, kind of, but dangerous. St. Joseph, Father of Wales. St. Joseph, Father of Wales, speak to us from the deep, St. Joseph. Oh, I lost something. So St. Joseph is, as well as St. Anthony, is who you pray to. St. Joseph, Father of Wales, speak to us from the deep, St. Joseph, baby father, traveler, clown suit, not father, but carter of watermelons and cantaloupes and footballs in my fearful agony, carter of my coyote joy, carter of pearly landscapes, your tattooed soul is a TV set, across which gallop kangaroos and javelinas, dancing cigarettes, grief, and me with a staff leading a legion of puppies out of the desert with your picture on my staff, but it's you as a dog in a baseball cap. I heard your Josephy songs in the Whales last night. Giant round giggly organs tickling and mooing and diving calves. You're the oldest and the silliest, Joe. Need to keep you on my side. Thanks to you, I'm enormous and slippery. Thanks to you, I'm sleek. I break the bank, breachy, and my thoughtful wishes for the world. And wolves and growly leaves dancing behind holy rice shades. Thanks to you, Joe, I can read the leaves in the sky and sing along with them in the end. I have you to thank for my transparency. Here I am, gentle, thumping heart and lungs at the bottom of the ocean. Here I am, your visible whale. Sun, keep watch on my blubber. Sailing around and past that man eyes me gently. Thanks, Joe, of the desert, Joe of the sky and of outer space. Gleaming Jupiter and Mars, big Jupiter and the sea. The surveying man feels my reasonable guts and the gleaming chart of all my trips and the goodness ahead, and he smiles with an infant's trust. And this one is called Dream. And I think in maybe 2013 or something, I had a girlfriend who then she went off to an artist colony, and it was definitely one of those trips where this is definitely the beginning of the end. But what was different was that I started to have these incredible dreams. Like I had the dogs, she went away, I had the dogs, and I would just wake up like with a head full of dreams. And I've never liked dreams occurring in fiction or poetry at all. I feel like, the dream sequence. But for 1 week, I would just wake up full of dreams, and I'm like, I'm just going to write a poem out of that dream. And it worked like 3 times. And it's just sort of like a particular kind of orgasm, like where that doesn't work anymore. But for that week, dream poems were amazing. So there's a few of these. Dream, close to the door in my dream, the small signs. I saw a brown sign with wisdom on it. I saw a brown one leaning with wisdom on it. Fringe of a mirror, my mother leaning over a pond, cupping water, leaning against the molding cardboard or wood. Which material does your wisdom prefer? Which apartment in a summer with someone I felt brave to have touched? Her love, the screen door and the dogs and the cats always getting out. That was the fear, 2 signs fading but recalling. They had faded like words fade in stone because of the rain and the days, and waking, and the dream is leaving with every step, leaning over the meat because I do not want you to have died in vain, kissing the turkey in the neck of my dog. All animals am I, all dreams, all stone, all message am I. This is Dream 2. The car had a cover over it, and it was over the wheels, and it hurt my ass, and I couldn't sleep. It seems I should move, should go forward now. I was wandering through the jungle, anywhere on earth, but I was a woman in bed in New York. And how many people have died in wild places dreaming you were still in bed? Would you know? Travel well, I said to my dog when she went on her journey thinking of a cheap movie. I've thought this was an urn turning, this was on water, this was flat, but now I see light between the trees, I see water trickling through stone. This is not made of language, but energy that will stop when I die. The dream dies too, one bolt. And this is sort of slipped in with the dreams, but it feels like it's one of their friends. It's called For You. The shape of this and her smell and the shine in the small lit room to the boy. Replace him with you and let me love that shine in you. Let me. And this is the last dream poem. Thank you, Guy. I feel like I'm letting my book get born in front of you. This one's called After the Season. You can find all the clothes you didn't want on eBay. I wish something would come and clean my bookshelves. I'm just going to write a few minutes. I'm just going to write an hour. I imagine the dogs watching TV for centuries, all those different clothes, doors opening and closing. Why do I want those books? I want other books. Nothing turning into moons. The loose seat held down by an ass. The restaurant felt like winter to me, and the waitress said, "Isn't it great? It feels like spring." The toilet bursting with joy. Hallucinatory Elvis shriveled into a mild lesbian committed to living narrower and more fully till she's seated in a humble cave. I can't erase anything here or change anything. I just want to write a few years. Everyone felt as if they stayed in southern CA. Well, eventually I would just climb into the library and be a book. I'd be preserved and you'd come around and live in my home and my dog would be born again in your eyes in those mountains and hills. This one's called September 18th, and we did break up eventually. I was in Ireland and was building a fire and felt sad. It's called September 18th. A great deal was lost by writing, you know. Writing was deplored and led to the loss of memory. I'm building a big fire, and my legs are burning from the electrical one. This pastime of leaning one up on the other is strangely incendiary. If I have a good talk, it stops. We bray our love. He doesn't ring my bell either, we chime. Dave pointed out the donkey in the field, alone with sheep. In Ireland, country with a donkey in it. Two women on the phone. No more secret messages for you. No more you, just this open field. Hee-haw. This one's called Washington. This is when it was working. I kind of go forward and back in a relationship, so nobody really knows which relationship I'm actually talking about. But there's two breakups in this book. There's usually one love, two breakups, or one big love, and then one big breakup. Washington. Why does he get a whole state all the way over here? It took me a long time to figure out that she was Mary Shelley, not the whore of God. All that desire, my cell phone dinks like quotes carrying you, a sign leaning against a car, and my ass clenches in the sun for you. And I see a cloudy mountain of trees. It's you I adore. Dink! It's you I'm breaking my back for. I play rolling the dog with a hairless woman. A car tucked in a gully. The ins and outs of Embody Road. The light so truthful about your embodiment. And I swear off complaint, not bliss. Without a punchline, without a fart, grapes scatter and kill our sun while baby sneakers dangle in my view. Am I responsible for this? I will kiss your tattoo. Zing. Every kind of sound is your love. I'm copying us to the world. When I draw those scratching peaks, I won't be waiting. He's here. The soft pencil sound scratching our length and time, erasing, blurring, and blowing. We're marking forever. Get this. I am recording you. I will keep you in my gut. The car, I think I was talking to my girlfriend on the phone in a car, and then I realized I was recording our whole conversation. I am recording you. I will keep you in my gut. The cars are stalled. Zounds, the trucks, litter, and it will hurt. Report violators. Dog where, or is it dog where? Is it the drifting MFA, the new bearded man, and his beauty, us, the collective beast. A box forces its way through the tousled angles of tree points. Dink! And now the river wrinkly cuss. Ka-thunk, ka-thunk. What about your blathering genitals? That's an aside. I would like to do something before we mourn the end of American democracy, at least to dive into a joint and explode something. I feel fear. To become conscious and one. To be seen, all stars as once, as gleaming people I know myself pushing. She liked this poem, and I always thought it was prophetic. Why did you just come and die? I was like, why do you like that poem? And this truly is about sitting in a cafe. There's a restaurant on my street called El Diablito, and so I've written like a shit ton of devil poems because I'm just sitting there waiting for my tacos. And then, but I was gonna go read at KGB, so this is an amazing act of poetry. I let you wisp in here a little. There, that's nice. Lights flashing, music thumping. I'm heading to do a reading, of course. The cute waitress delivers the guy's food, and I'm afraid she caught me making eating faces. Seriously now, saying goodbye to Thich Nhat Hanh, how many people always think about you when they're chewing? There's hardly anything on the planet that isn't improved by a little lime. Happy squeeze. This sailor will never get scurvy. I wonder if she feels different when she serves him. Today at the gym, this woman said, "You always look so cute." One of the few times I ever looked at my ex's Twitter feed, someone had told her she had beautiful hair. I thought, gross, what a narcissist. Well, it's not like someone at the gym said I always look cute on social media. No one may ever read this. Maybe some archivist at Yale will wind up with my phone and lean over to another graduate student. Look, someone at the gym told her she always looked cute. Covers his mouth, laughing. Maybe I'll lose this phone. Narcissistic little thought, you will not die alone. I'll read you tonight at KGB. I'm closing in, but anyway, it's going well. This one's called Angel. And what do I want to say this was in the New York Times, and I was like, I don't know if it's the best poem. And even they did that thing where like they put a poet and a painter together, and I got Christopher Wool, and he was like, I didn't get that poem. I didn't pick the poem, and I didn't pick it with your painting. They just do shit to you. And you're really excited because it's the New York Times. I suppose it's called Angel. I suppose I'm afraid of forever. I close my eyes and it's intense. It's beginning inside me. I'm trying to clear the deck to get to this yawning simplicity. It's something different in the dark. How many times could I move the dot back to hear him say, there was so much more of it, and there is. Will you love me forever for this? My simple fear, my fear of the dark gives me something to say. It descends. I wake each glimpse like a tiny star of the other side when I was alive. He was like, that was weird. I'm like, this guy used to be a junkie. Why do you think this is weird? Come on, it's not weird. You're weird. Who's not weird? So I think this is probably, is it 10, 5, 7? Yeah, okay, I think I was asked to read 15 or 20 minutes. I think this will do it. Yeah. This is called Sharing Fall. It's a particularly gross poem, and I pulled out the gross part, and then it wasn't as good. So I was like, put the gross. My friends were like, put the gross back in. Sharing Fall. I lost my loss in a collective of loss. I could reach in and grab. It's like the person, this is still about the breakup, but I really sound like an asshole, I think, in this one. I lost my loss in a collective of loss. I could reach in and grab a fist of them, saving them from the rain. My mouth is red for every child who is starved, eating the corpse of their father or mother. My corpse is spaghetti, sharing birthdays with a famous clown, a famous blind man, and a famous... I have the same birthday as John Milton's, what's his name? Emmett Kelly. And I'm with Kirk Douglas. So weird. There's no other woman born on my birthday. I'm it. And a famous actor. Let me go back to that. My corpse is spaghetti. I want to get back to the serious part. My corpse is spaghetti sharing birthdays with a famous clown, a famous blind man, and a famous actor. This cool makes me want to divulge, go on exposing my hunger, which is the only story I know. Tin bliss. Filling this air and every air, my only love a watch and a dead one, to be sure, renewed by an ugly face and what I love in a box shoved up on a shelf, and I wonder when I'll take her down and abuse her again, or disabuse her of her stupid notions about herself. Silly little filly racing around and around. My dog hates my farts. Should I fart here? If the place is too gross, I tell my neighbor not to call me mommy, and he's not my neighbor anymore. I only work in his... You know when they call you your dog's mommy? And I'm like, he's not my neighbor anymore. I only work in his world, so I sit with dogs, so it's clear. When we wag our tails, we do not work at all. I've only been getting to know you better, my risquatch ismo only way. I'm pulling back from that border. I let the yellow handles of your genius, your sunny front against all insult, your sunny golden leaves, half a can. I can't remember what I said. This is a translation of weather. How is it in Baltimore today? I couldn't even get there without removing another city. The device warned me, don't remove all of them. I removed all of them, and all these cities are gone. Thank you.
Eileen Myles, it was awesome. I love that you're not afraid to be gross. And I think the line like toilets bursting with joy is just seared into my cortex now forever. Thank you for that. So I'm really happy to introduce our next reader. I saw him last year read for the first time at the Provincetown Book Festival, which just started I think about 3 years ago. He's a spectacular reader. Joe Okonkwo is an award-winning novelist, short story writer, and editor. His debut novel, Jazz Moon, set against the backdrop of the Harlem, Renaissance, and glittering jazz age Paris, was published by Kensington Books in 2016, called by David Evershaw a passionate, alive, and original novel about love, race, and jazz in 1920s Harlem, a moving story of traveling far to find oneself. Jazz Moon won the Publishing Triangle's prestigious 2016 Edmund White Award for Debut Fiction, finalist for the Lambda Literary Award for Best Gay Fiction. His work has been anthologized in many places. Joe's is prose editor for Newtown Literary, a journal featuring work by writers from Queens, New York, and editor of Best Gay Stories 2017, published by Letha Press. A cum laude graduate of the University of Houston with a BA in theater, Joe made his living for a number of years as an actor, stage manager, director, playwright, and youth theater instructor. He earned an MFA in creative writing from City College of New York. He's a proud resident of the New York City Borough of Queens. Please welcome Joe Okonkwo.
Just up a little bit tall. Tall and dapper. Wrong pole. Oops. always the wrong pole. Okay, that's better. Thank you, everyone. This is the third time I've read here at the Borough. The first time I read was just after my novel Jazz Moon came out, and 3 people showed up, 2 of whom worked here. And the other one just happened to be shopping and stayed for the event. I don't think she even bought the damn thing. But, so it's nice to have such a great turnout. So I'm going to be reading some new work tonight. This is a short story called The Girl's Table. A spitwad just hit the back of my neck. Another one. They've been shooting them at me all morning. I told Mommy and Daddy about how the boys be doing all kind of stuff to me. spitwads, tripping me, pushing me around in the bathroom. Daddy tell me to fight. He say better to get a bloody nose than be no sissy. But mommy say I ain't got to fight. All I got to do is look him in the eye, real serious, and they'll know I mean business, and they'll stop. I'm scared to fight him. But doing it mommy way ain't easy either. But I guess mommy way better than fighting. Miss Carson at the board, teaching math. She showing us greater than and less than. I like Miss Carson. She got long black braids all the way down to her waist. She wear a headband that match her dress, a African fabric, orange and yellow and light blue. Pretty colors, pretty like Miss Carson. She explaining something to LaToya. LaToya always asking lots of questions. Miss Carson spend more time answering LaToya questions than anybody else's in our whole second grade class. Mommy say if looking them boys in the eye real serious don't work, I should tell Miss Carson. But I don't want to be no snitch. People be getting even with snitches. Another spitwad. I've been wiping them off my neck all morning. My heart beating fast. I need to turn around, look him in the eye real serious like mommy say. But before I can turn, I hear somebody whisper, "Psst, Cedric." Hear my chance. I turn. A spitwad smacks me right on my mouth. Dean the one did it. He's sitting in the row next to mine's, a few seats back. Dean wear a do-rag. We ain't supposed to wear no do-rag in the classroom. Miss Carson always telling him to take it off. He don't though. Dean don't never listen. He's smiling all big and bright, like bright could hide the meanness. It don't. He holding a white plastic knife from the lunchroom. He been using it to flick the spitwads at me, putting them on the blade part, bending it back, letting go so the spitwad flies. Dean laughing out loud. Some of the other boys, his crew, they laughing too. Is there something you gentlemen would like to share with the rest of us? Miss Carson say. Nobody say nothing. Miss Carson shake her head. Know what, guys? It's 1997. I think you'd act a little more civilized. She go back to explaining greater than and less than. The spitwad stuck on my top lip like it's glued. I brush it off. I got to be careful not to lick my lip. I don't want to taste Dean nasty spit. I turn back around and face the board. Psst, Dean say. Turn around again, faggot. When I turned before, I forgot to look him in the eye real serious. Ain't no use now. I stay facing front. I should be listening to Miss Carson, trying to see what she writing on the board, but I'm too busy crying and trying not to show it. Miss Carson sending us to the bathroom to wash our hands before lunch. She's sending us in groups. It's my group turn, even though Dean group's still in there. I don't want to go in there. I wait outside the bathroom door. I'll go in when Dean come out, but he taking forever. I hate it when his group go in before mine, because he always in there real long, and I'm scared to go in there when Dean in there. Maybe I'll skip washing my hands, just today. But my hands got paint on them from art class. Mommy wouldn't want me eating with paint on my hands. And I got spit on my hands too from wiping them spitwads off my neck. I go in. It stink. Somebody in a stall doing number 2. The sinks is rusty and brown. Some of the knobs on the faucets is missing. People done wrote names and curse words on the white walls and they got yellow stains. Some of them stains is wet. There's a puddle of pee on the floor. Dean laughing and messing around with some older boys from 4th and 5th grade. He got the plastic knife, the one he'd been using to flick them spitwads at me. He jumping at people with it like he Wesley Snipes in an action movie and showing it off like that plastic knife is gold. Nigga, stop acting a fool. a fourth grader say. Yo, Dean, you acting like it's a switchblade, dog, a large fifth grader say. That thing ain't even sharp. Yeah, it is, Dean say, like a wise guy. I'm gonna prove it. Dean's strutting around. He trying to impress the older boys, trying to act big like them, even though he's small like me, trying to act gangster. The good thing is, he don't notice me. I'm drying my hands and thinking how lucky I'd be. I'm thanking God that Dean don't see me. Then he do. Hey, he yelled, Cedric, you gonna sit at the girls' table again today? He turns to the older boys. Yo, this nigga sit with the girls every day. They laugh so loud my ears rattle. Why you sit with the girls, yo? The large fifth grader say. He's so large, he got breasts. He a faggot, Dean say. The large fifth grader pushed me. I fall on the floor grimy. People be messy when they wash their hands and water spill from the sinks and mix with the grime and make the floor muddy. And now it's on my hands and I just washed them. Somebody's still in that stall doing number 2. It stinks so bad I hold my breath. That true? The large fifth grader say. You a faggot ass? He tall. He wider than me. He got fat cheeks and 2 chins and a tummy like a big ball. I look up at him, like looking up at a mountain. He keep coming toward me. I scoot back. Now I'm close to the puddle of pee. I don't want that nasty pee on me. It get on me, my clothes be wet and stinking, and Miss Carson won't let me in the classroom, and everybody will laugh, and when I get home, I'll have to tell Mommy and Daddy why I be stinking. I got to get up. I got to look him in the eye, real serious, and he'll know not to mess with me. 'Cause I'm a good boy, and they shouldn't treat a good boy like this. If I look him in the eye real serious, they'll see I'm good. They'll stop this. Please, God, let them stop this. I get up, but I don't look nobody in the eye. I run out. LaToya and Paris playing with their dolls at the lunch table. LaToya doll black, Paris doll white. LaToya looking at Paris' white doll all jealous, like she wished she had the white doll. Like she want to comb that soft blonde hair, have blue eyes smiling up at her instead of brown ones. I want to play with their dolls. I want to hold them, comb their hair, dress them, tuck them in at bedtime, lay their pretty heads on the pillow next to me. I want to ask LaToya and Paris to let me hold their dolls, but I know better. Bad enough I sit at the girls' table. If kids know I like dolls, see me playing with them, they be laughing at me even worse. It's a secret I got to keep all to myself. LaToya and Paris like me sitting here. They my friends, but the boys don't. Even some of the girls be cutting their eyes at me, sucking their teeth. The boys sit behind us. Sometimes I hear sissy or faggot. Sometimes they whisper it. Sometimes they shout it. We can sit wherever we want in the lunchroom, but the boys always hang together and the girls just want to be around each other. I don't sit with the boys because I don't know how to talk about ball and video games and rap. I don't like they nasty jokes about girls' private parts and what grown-ups do in bed. I don't like how they always acting a fool and tripping people and flicking spitwads and calling people nigger. Is something wrong with me? Everybody thinks so. Daddy thinks so. He always asks, why you don't play ball? Why you don't stand up for yourself? Why you so skinny? Why you don't act like a boy's supposed to act? I guess something is wrong with me. If everybody thinks so, if my own daddy thinks so, then it must be. You want to trade dolls for one night? LaToya say to Paris. LaToya looking at Paris' blonde doll like she wanted so bad she could eat it up. Paris look at LaToya black doll and scrunch her face up. Please, Paris, I'll be your best friend. Girl, you already my best friend, Paris say. They trade dolls. LaToya all happy, but Paris frowning like she can't stand no doll the same color as her. At least she got a doll. I'm watching them, holding each other's dolls, dreaming about what it'd be like to hold one in my arms, pat the soft hair, look into the smiling face, thinking how a doll face looked innocent and pretty. But I'm a boy. I should like football and basketball. But football and basketball ain't gentle. They ain't sweet. Dolls is. You can get hurt playing ball, but don't nobody get hurt playing with no doll. When you play ball and you make a mistake and the team lose, everybody be mad at you. They be yelling and cursing and talk about how stupid you are for making them lose, for letting them down. But you can just take a doll to your room and play with it all quiet, and don't nobody get hurt. Don't nobody feel let down. I feel something on the back of my neck. It ain't no spit wad. Spit wads don't hurt. This hurt, like somebody struck a match on my neck and then held it there and let it burn. Dean, LaToya shout, what you doing? I turn around. Dean standing right behind me, grinning. He holding the plastic knife. It got red on it. I told him it was sharp, Dean say, looking at the knife like he proud of it, like he proud of himself. He walk away toward the table of 5th grade boys. They all looking my way. Dean walking like a big man. That large 5th grader who pushed me in the bathroom, he high-fived Dean. I feel the blood dripping down my skin like an insect crawling down my neck. I know it's staining my collar, the back of my shirt. I wipe my neck, my hand red. We got to tell Miss Carson, LaToya say. Girl, I ain't no snitch, Paris say. Cedric's our friend. We ain't letting Dean get away with cutting our friend. Come on. LaToya take me by the hand and run, pulling me along. Paris come too, but she take her time. We don't say nothing when we get to the teacher table. We just stand there for a minute and wait for them to act like they notice us. Miss Carson asks us what we need. She looked different from the other teachers because of her African clothes and braids. The other teachers be looking at us all serious, like they don't like us interrupting their lunch. LaToya do all the talking. Let me see, Cedric, Miss Carson say. Some of the teachers watching, shaking their heads. Some keep eating and don't pay us no mind. Miss Carson been acting like she can't be bothered, but something changed when she see my neck. She grab a napkin quick and tell me to hold it against the cut. Press hard, she says. Dean did this. She been talking low and sleepy like before, but now she loud. Her eyes all big. Yes, ma'am, LaToya say. Yes, ma'am, Paris whisper. She looking at the floor. I don't say nothing. I'm too shamed. All these teachers sitting here, knowing something wrong with me. I want to cry. Miss Carson sent me to the nurse. The nurse wiped the cut with something that sting, then put a Band-Aid on it. She sent me back to class. Miss Carson waiting for me outside the room. Dean with her. Well, Miss Carson tell Dean, don't you have something to say to Cedric? Dean don't say nothing. You're not going to apologize? Miss Carson sound mad. Look mad too. Not mad like when class be acting up and won't nobody be quiet. She a different kind of mad. She walking back and forth so fast, her braids is swinging, and her mouth all closed and tight, like she's so mad she might hit Dean. You're already in trouble, young man. Don't think your parents won't find out about this. She put her finger in Dean's face. It's shaking. Now you apologize right now. Dean look at me like I gross him out. Why shouldn't I cut him? He's just a boy who sits with the girls. Miss Carson sent him to the principal's office. I go in the classroom. It's noisy when I walk in, but it get quiet quick. Everybody looking at me. LaToya must have told them what happened. That girl got a big mouth. I sit at my desk. I know everybody behind me looking at my neck, the Band-Aid on it. Miss Carson start teaching spelling, my favorite subject, but I can't concentrate. I keep thinking about mommy and daddy and what they'll say when they see my neck, and I have to tell them what happened. They'll be disappointed in me. Why you ain't looking in the eye real serious, mommy will ask, and daddy will say, why you didn't fight back? I guess I'll tell them I ain't have no chance. I ain't see him coming. Thank you.
My name's Mike Geisinger. I have one short thing from memory. I wasn't expecting to do this, but I'll give it a shot. In waking sleep, we keep our limbs in heaps. In heat, musk breathes, musk steeps. Lust never reaps what it sows. His curls fell as black cotton blows. I receive, I plead, but he goes and goes and goes. Thank you.
So I don't know if Diana needs more time, so should I do another?
You're gonna do a couple
Yeah,
more.
another wild card, yeah. All right.
Should I have not picked it?
Why don't we have one of our readers?
Oh yes, I love that. Here. You want? Aha, Sarah Stella.
I knew it was going to be me because I folded it the special way that, like, if you want to be picked for the lottery, that's how you hold it. I learned that from my mom. She wins everything. This is an erasure of a letter that my aunt sent me. I sent her a save the date for my wedding, and her response was to, like, witness to me. So this was my response. My dear, turn it this way. I wish I spent more time living, but I've never understood how. Recently I grabbed a pen. I worked on the answer to my life. I felt a jet, a magnet, a pancake, a chair, a doormat. Every cell, every molecule in my body. I'm not sure how. All I can say is I'm super not special. I used to talk to almost anyone and feel great love. I plead to you, go against the fullness you were meant to have. Thank you.
Come on up here, sir.
Thank you. My name is Tom Nyman. I'm writing a novel that's called Deeds of the Night Sparrow. It's a story of a refugee family in Brooklyn, specifically a young a boy whose parents are from Palestine, and his two friends at Brooklyn College. His name is Asfor, and translated from Arabic it means sparrow. His friend Maya is his close friend and soon to be his love. And they have another friend named Dylan. Dylan is an interesting character. He's studying both astrophysics and music, and he performs regularly at stand-up mic events in Williamsburg music clubs. And this particular scene is happening at a place that does exist, and maybe many of you have been to, called Pete's Candy Store. Dylan has, throughout the novel with his friends, been very, very private about his who he is and what his family background is like, and who he is personally within the realm of his social world. And this is him. This is a short segment of a chapter where he's at Pete's Candy Store, but he hasn't told his friends Maya and Asfor that he's performing. Dylan pushed his way through the Williamsburg regulars packed at the bar, making his way to the performance space in the back. With him was his backpack full of school stuff and his guitar. He's a regular at Pete's Candy Store, both as an audience member and as a performer. He was turned away many times for being underage, but then he learned how to sneak in 6 months before turning 21, befriending other performers and volunteering to be their roadie. To be safe, for those 6 months, he never drank alcohol, and he drank sodas only until the day he turned 21 when he ordered a beer, hated it, and never drank again. He would never reveal this to his father, who would ridicule him for being a lousy Irishman. Pete's Candy Store was usually packed, but for a Thursday at 9 p.m., this was exceptional. The space was long and thin, and separated into the front, fitted with a beautiful antique wooden bar, and the back, a modest performance space with a tiny stage at the end. Although the performance space could not fit more than 50 people, it was an enviable venue to perform in because the sound system was good. The audience was prime hipster culture lovers, and it showed up in every New York City guide for the best places to hear music. Monica, the stage manager, was nowhere to be seen, and he wedged his way toward the performance space door to see who was singing, and it was Dajit, a young woman from India. She was a third-year dental student at NYU, and she told Dylan that if her parents ever found out she was singing in Brooklyn music clubs instead of studying, they'd kill her. What impressed Dylan the most about her is she would accompany herself with an acoustic bass and make it sound like a Fender Stratocaster. She didn't write songs and instead covered B-side music by less-known singer-songwriters like Buffy St. Marie, Melanie, and better-known ones like Carole King and Linda Ronstadt. Someone tapped him on the shoulder. It was Monica. Dylan, she said, you're scheduled to go third, but Cougar Falls has bailed because of a flat tire and they're still in Jersey somewhere. Can you go next? He nodded yes. Great, she said, dump your shit in my office and tune up. Did you get a pickup installed on that thing, or do we need to install a second mic? Second mic, he said. Dylan, I know you don't want to mess up your precious vintage piece of junk guitar by installing a pickup, but it would make things a hell of a lot smoother on our side. Monica, I'll think about it. Dylan, you've been feeding me that line longer than I've been telling my fiance that I like his parents, which I don't. Get a pickup in that thing, or get a new acoustic that has one? Yes, precious, he said. Fuck you, she says with a smile. When Dylan performed, he rarely invited friends, and the only two he did want to hear him sing were Asfor and Monica and Maya. But tonight he didn't invite them because he wanted to try out a new song. He went to the club office, dropped his pack, unzipped his guitar, pulled out his Harmony 1967 archtop that he found several years ago in the garbage in Rego Park while it was raining. Scoot through this. Dajit finished her set to a roar of applause, and in minutes she was unplugged and a second mic was wired up. This was a crucial moment, and Dylan did not want too much time to lapse before he got up to perform for two reasons. First, if too much time passed, he would lose audience members. Although he was liked and respected at Pete's Candy Store and a few other Williamsburg clubs, he did not have a big following per se, not yet anyway. The second reason was being Thursday, he had a late night ahead of him and he had to make some money, and performing at Pete's with a pass-the-bucket policy for musicians brought in $30 or $40 per performance, sometimes $50, but never more. He approached the stage and Dajit hugged him. Nice job, girl, he says. Good luck, Dylan. Our Asfor and Maya here. Not tonight, he says. While I'm here rooting for you, are you going to make everyone burst into tears, or is tonight a happy night? Maybe a bit of both. Nice, she said, I'm getting my cocktail now. Don't start without me. Maya loved hearing Dylan and usually never missed a show. Asfor, however, was not so regular. Although 21, he was devoted and respectful to his parents' request to minimize his nightlife and concentrate on his studies. In truth, Asfor had a powerful connection to his family that Dylan had difficulty understanding. At age 15, Dylan could pretty much go anywhere he wanted and stay out as late as he chose. But had his mother been alive, or his sister not had a family and a military career, that might have been different, but that's what his adolescent life was, and it was no different now. You want me out? I'm going to switch. Anyway, let me switch to what he does, which is he sings a love song.
Just about another 2 minutes, if that's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm giving you one. Dylan then gets up to the stage and sings a song he hopes in the absence of his friends. And it's a love song for Asfer because he's never confessed to anybody that he's his friend from school he loves deeply. And there's something else I should say. It's a song about brown, and he's describing his friend in terms of brown. And what he's referring to is the browns of his eyes. The story, in fact, is about Asfer dreaming about his grandmother who teaches him to fly in his dreams. And during the course of his dreams, his eyes change from his own brown color to the color of his grandmother's, which are an aqua green. You were the color of coffee. No, sorry. When I met you at first, you were the color of coffee, the color of chocolate, and the hues of sweet toffee. And this is how I know you when I wake and I slumber, in shades of sienna and henna and umber. My love for you, sparrow, is the color of a tree, like cinnamon and chestnut and honey and tea. But the brown is gone, and with it are you, and you hide your face from shame in my view. What was so wrong with your colors of bronze that you had to forfeit them hues of falcons and fawns? Instead, you have chosen aqua, yellow, and green, but not just these any, but new ones unseen. And why choose a color that's not part of this earth? Where are you going, and what am I worth? In my heart, I do know you don't know how I miss the browns that are you and the hope of a kiss. But I can change too, and I can learn to love green, but it's worthless if you don't see the colors in me. Thank you.
What do we got? Do we need a break or? Okay. Right. He's like, no.
Do y'all need a break? I mean, this is
No. Get up. We're ready for you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so much prettier up here than I thought in the back. Hi. Oh wow. Actually, oh interesting. Can we boom this one for voice and then make this one lower for guitar?
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. I'll just project talk for now. So when CQ sent this email saying la la la, and I read the description of like dress up, I took it to heart and I dressed up very femmy today. So you're welcome. Welcome. Because I find that we live in a culture of doubting femininity, doubting feminine strength, doubting feminine. Watch me set this up. And, abilities. Thank you. That was so special. Oh, well, there it goes. So great, amazing. Thank you. Oh, well, no. Wait, can you
wait till I turn around, don't you?
You work on that while I talk. Okay, so I'm gonna unload on you for a minute about my week, my past 7 days. I needed to peace out. I peaced out on life, and I pretty much just I went away and I went to go stay at my friend's apartment, and then it burned down and all my stuff in it that I brought there, which happened to be all my favorite things. And the thing that survived was this guitar. And so what I was gonna do, I was gonna read my sermon on courage tonight, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna practice agency and sing songs that I want to sing on this guitar. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight. Some of these are old. Well, they're all old because I've written them. And some of these are from a show that I've written and a piece that I'm in the process of writing right now. And What else would they want to say? I don't know. I'm gonna tune. I've also been in rehearsals all day for Parable of the Sower of the Opera, which spans 200 years of black music. And I'm about to go on the tour to Singapore on Saturday. So my voice might be tired. All to say, I'm not striving for perfection. I'm striving for something with a soul. Give me strength to bear all that I am, so I can be as strong as a man. He was a strong, but my father, he did me wrong. I watched him fall and figure out the failures that would come about, trying to be as strong as a man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. My brother, he was a strong one, but my brother, he could never do no wrong. He worked to feed and nurture me, and I stayed the nurtured child, you see. Well, he got to be as strong as a man. Well, he got to be as strong as a man. Oh, and my mother, she was the strong, but my mother, she was the wrong one. She worked to feed, to nurture us. When the sun beat down to torture us, she taught me how to be as strong as a man, so I can be as strong as I am, so I can be as strong as I am. And ooh, 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 hey, ooh. So I think to have a successful loving relationship, you have to be willing to evolve, and that means evolve with the person. And if you don't evolve with the person, then it means you aren't supposed to be together anymore. You evolved in different directions, so let it be, and you let go of the person honestly and with grace, and you cry and you scream and you do all the things, but you notice that, you know, we have gone in different directions. And so I think for people to stay together, you have to be willing to evolve together. And I say all this to let you know that it took me 30 years to learn this. I've just turned 31. And this song is from a time when I didn't know this trick till I... You kissed me 'cause I said things that I didn't mean to say, but I said them anyway. If I ever slipped and said I love you, which I surely do, I didn't mean to. And I hate that I hurt you. I hate that I hurt you. You're too lovely a person for they. Too lovely a person for me. Your job, by the way, is to let me know if I have lipstick on your teeth. That's like your one job. Bye. 2 more. And conversely, on the other side of that relationship, this is a song that was written in the beginning of how we met. And maybe if you hear this, you'll understand why maybe it imploded in on itself. This one's about sex. wait for her down by the waiting side. She's got my body wrapped up in a thing, and it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright for me. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright for me. Memory lives on. No, she never leaves my side. She feels it in me. I hold it and it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright for me. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright for me. I'm so defenseless, she's got my senses coming down on me. No, she doesn't see me when she walks by me, and that's alright with me. It's alright. It's alright for me. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright for me. It's alright. It's alright for me. It's alright. It's alright for me. I haven't played that in public in about 10 years. I don't know how long it's been a while. So thank you for letting me do that. Okay, this is the last. This is the last. Thanks for letting me have agency. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. XOXO. Wow. And I think this is just where we're all kind of at. Who, like, I don't know, who feels lonely ever in life, right? Okay, can we just all? So fun. When's about like that? And if you catch on, maybe join in. motion, cigarette burning, glass of cheap wine. Unlike the scene, there's nothing to lose here. Kicks off her shoes, amps up the pellet light, and bright lights, lighting eyes up now, back in the hood, yeah, make work out the shadow. Here she's understood. With all the kids saying, I want something more, and someone to live for, and someone to lift me up, someone to pick me, someone to lift me up, someone to pick me, someone to pick me, someone to pick me. There's gorgeous so vain, no clueless and useless. All the peeps posing with effortless charm, competing with others who don't exist yet. Does this diversion cause her more harm? She wants to be beside her, and she'll try, and she could, yeah, with the clever letter breath out, feeling good. With all the kids saying, I want something more, and someone to live for, and someone to lift me up, someone to pick me, someone to lift me up, someone to pick me. And I want something more, and someone to live for, and someone to lift me up, someone to pick me, someone to lift me up, someone to pick me, someone to pick me, someone to pick me. It's a lonely world. It's a lonely world for you. It's a lonely world for me. It's the same thing we all see. It's a lonely world. It's a lonely world. We're all gonna scream about how lonely it is in this bookshop. And here we go. And don't be shy. It's just up in a fucking bookstore. You can do that. Wait, shit. Okay, 5, 6, we're gonna scream it. Even more. Cause it's a weekday. Hey. Even if we're in for people, we're still fucking lonely. Two more and let it go. One last push. Beautiful, thank you. Bright lights, lighting eyes, now back in the hood. She wants to be beside her. She'll try, and she could. With all the kids saying, I want something more, and someone to live for, and someone to lift me up, someone to pick me, someone to lift me up, someone to pick me. And I want something more, and someone to live for, and someone to lift me up, someone to pick me, someone to lift me up, someone to pick me. And I want something more. You can keep going. Someone to lift me up, someone to pick me, someone to lift me up, someone to pick. It's a lonely world. It's a lonely world. It's a lonely world. It's a lonely world.
Thank you, Diana.
Come on, Tim.
We just want to thank you
Yeah,
all
well, thank
so
everyone
much.
for being here.
What fun we had tonight.
If your name was in the hat and you did not get called, you are entitled to a treat from Dylan's Candy Bar, so come see us with the bag here. I just want to say thank you, everybody. Buy some books, support the Bureau, and I guess one more round of applause, please.
Thank you to our amazing
Eileen Myles.
Put your email on that sign-up list, and hopefully we'll see you all and a whole bunch of your new friends in 2 months. Bye.
So I guess there's drinks and...
Oh, you too.